Hello and welcome to our work presentation. There are four members in our team, Sumiao, Feizuduan, Suwenlu, and me. In this video, we will address the problem of child obesity and develop a solution for this problem. Here is our content to display the key component for our presentation. Childhood obesity is growing a public health concern worldwide. The problem is especially alarming in developing countries, where a sedentary lifestyle, high-calorie diet, and lack of physical activity are prevalent. Childhood obesity is defined as having a body mass index (BMI) greater than or equal to the 95% for children of the same age and gender. According to the World Health Organization, over 340 million children and adolescents aged between 5 and 19 were overweight or obese in 2016. Child obesity is influenced by a variety of factors, including genetic, environmental, behavioral, and socioeconomic factors. Child obesity can lead to numerous health problems, including diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, and physiological issues such as low self-esteem and depression. Addressing child obesity requires a motivated and comprehensive approach that addresses the root cause of problem. The integrative thinking process is the model we use to define the problem of child obesity and develop develop the solution for this issue. According to Martin, the integrative thinking process is a good approach because it encourages individuals to consider opposing ideas and find a creative solution incorporating both elements. Rather than settling for simple either-or choice, integrative thinking challenge individuals to develop a more nuanced and innovative solution. This approach can be especially effective in complex and motivated problems, such as child obesity, where there are many factors at play and no single solution is likely to be sufficient. The The integrative thinking process has four states. State one articulate the opposing model. State two examine the model. State three explore the possibility, and state four assess the prototype. After this, Sumia will go through the first state, articulate the opposing model.
Hello everyone. Now let's we face to the first step, articulate the opposite models. And before we start the models, we need to discuss the problems. And now here is our data about the problems that can make us know the problem, how serious about the problem. The first is growing is about the WHO, and it is the second is about the BMI. It is set also by the WHO. And on the third part, we can know that over 340 million children facing on their offside problems. So we can know that the problem is very serious. And on this part, on the first step, we will set up two experiment opposing answers of the problem. Here we set up two opposite models. The first model is individual responsibility model, and the second is the environmental model. The first model we fix to the willing, competent, and the public. You can see that all of these factors are basic on the childhood themselves. And the second, the environmental model, is about such as tasks, school system, and manufacturer regulation. This is basic on the environment. And this is the stage and the visualization about how we will do about the model. And you can see that we set up some complex and different factors about how we will do basic on the models. And we set up on the different angles, such as school, government, and industrial. And on this part, after visualization the models, we will know that the benefits and the process of each model. This is a process part. That means how we will do about the different models that, or you can know that each of the model we set up 3 factors. And on the model 1, the process we basic on the childhood themselves. And the model 2, the process we basic on reduce the environment factors that might can make the childhood overweight. And on the third part, and on the next part, it is about the benefits. Although the different models, in fact, although the different models are opposite, but in fact, each of the part will also have the different benefits. But you know that the benefits might have different levels. And you can see that we make a list on this part. And now, let's we talk about the second stage, examine the models. On the last part, we talk about the visualization and the process, the benefits, and now let's we start the examining the models. First, we need to set up the similar factors. You can see here we set up 4 similar factors between the model 1 and the model 2, and all of these factors is it is complex to find the similar factors because the 2 models is really extreme opposite. But you can see that both models face children directly. I need to explain about these factors. In fact, both of the responsibility and environmental models are faced to children directly, but the individual will face to children to encourage them to solve the problem by themselves, and the environmental will encourage will reduce the factors that in the environmental to solve the problem by themselves, but both of them are faced to the children themselves on the different angles. Okay, this is the example, and this is the difference part. In fact, there are many differences by themselves because there are 2 opposite models, but we find the 3 most important factors on this part. There are time and ground and complex, you can see. And this is the most value of the different values. The first model, the biggest value is school, and the second model, the biggest school is government. Okay, and this is the tension. The tension on this tension part, we need to find about the most important problems, and we need to find that which kind of problem that only a model cannot solve, and what is the problem that we need to solve when the 2 opposite models we find, and on these questions we will find a best way that can combine the 2 opposite models advantage. And this is the 4th step that we set up over here. And in the end, we find the most important factors. What is the best way to get the childhood exercise while controlling their diet?
In this stage, we will explore the other possibilities of these 2 models from school, industry, and government. Schools plays a vital role in shaping children's eating and physical activities habits. They can implement the individual responsibility model by providing nutrition education and encouraging physical education and sports. Industry is a direct producer of food. More money is needed to develop more healthy snacks for kids that reduce the amount of calories. And it could work with the public health advocate and policy maker to create a sportive environment. Government plays a vital role in both models in addition to increasing taxes and providing courses mentioned earlier. The government can also play a leading role. First, it could fund programs that encourage children and families to make healthy choices. Second, the quality and availability of school gym can be improved. And the next part is about the assess the prototypes. Earlier, we discussed the measures that partners, school and the government can take under the two models. Next, we assess the feasibility of these measures. The personal responsibility model relies on education, information, and motivation to encourage healthy behaviors in children and their families. It is relatively inexpensive to implement, but it doesn't address the underlying causes of obesity. Environmental models aim to create sportive environment. The main advantage of this model is that it can target the underlying causes of obesity. However, it may face political or social resistance and is relatively costly to implement or maintain. In conclusion, both of them have advantages and limitations in terms of the costs and effects of preventing and reducing children's obesity. Combined strategy may be more feasible and effective than relying on one model alone. However, there are maybe more challenge behind
Hi, that's Fei Yuduan, and thanks for Su Wenluo's presentation. And let's talking about the solution and the conclusion. And the first solution is based on individual responsibility model and involves ensure that children and their parents are encouraged to adopt healthy eating practice. It will ensure that children grow up becoming responsibility adults who are conscious of their own health. To incorporate this solution is essentially that at the individual levels, health of each children can be monitored by parents and school authorities. Also, children need to be made more aware of the importance of health food. This will make sure that children among themselves will teach each other the importance of staying health. Also, parents and teachers can share knowledge with each other. And the second solution is based on environmental model and is focused on ensure that there is a supportive environment. It is where children is encouraged to adopt health practice. To make sure children is encouraged to adopt healthy practices by making such facility easily available to them. This can be done through making healthy food easily accessible at school and local community. Also, facilities such as playgrounds need to be developed so that children can participate more in physical activities instead of spending their time on mobile device and themselves. Also, a conducive environment will mean that parents can be assured that their children can play in a safe environment outside a home, which will help them reduce obesity. Finally, it can be stated that combining both the solution will result in a more efficient and valuable solution to the problem of childhood obesity among children. And let's talk about a conclusion. And this discussion has focused on the goals problem of childhood obesity. The study involves review two opposing models, the individual responsibility model and the environmental models. These models are critically analyzed in this study. In both models, schools, government, and industries are the key involved who can facilitate healthy living for children and contribute towards reducing their obesity. For the purpose of this analysis, the four-stage framework is followed for the integrating thinking. The first stage involves evaluation of the models, which involves in identifying the benefit of both models are discussed in detail. The third stage involves exploring the possibility, followed by assess the prototype in the fourth stage. From the analyze, two available solutions are posed. One of the solution is based on the individual model, whereas the other solution is based on the environmental models. And finally, it is recommended to adopt a combination of the two models. By doing so, it will become beneficial for the children at the individual level as well as ensure that there is a supportive and conducting environment available to them. And at the end of the presentation, and there is our group's preference. And thank you for listening our presentation.